What's up, YouTube? So what we're going to start today is talking about buying cars off Coparts and what you have to go through and what the process is, what you end up with. So I bought a 2012 Nissan Altima on Coparts, and I just got it home, so I wanted to kind of go over how the process is and show you what I ended up with and if there's any problems with this car. So first off, I paid. I'll show you. I'll put the link up in here. Show you the Copart ad. I paid $2,200 for it, but that's not all my costs. Being in California, you just can't buy the car straight off Copart. You have to use a broker, unless you have like a dealer license or something. You have to have a resale license and a few things. I'm looking into getting that because the brokers, it's pretty expensive especially on a lower end car where you're only going to pay $2,200. But I ended up paying $500 to Coparts and around $500 to the broker that I used. So in that process, I mean, another $1,000 that makes the car, it's still a good price, but not as good as it should be. I mean, if you take that $500 away from the fact that I pay that broker that, then you're in a little bit better price range there for a car. It was a dent scratch and it runs drives. They say it could still, even though the car wasn't wrecked, it could still have even though the car wasn't wrecked, it could still have a salvage title, and they said that's just the process of the way it's sold through Copart. So we'll see what the title ends up being. I'm hoping to get a clean title because that would be awesome not to have a salvage title on this car, especially since it wasn't in a wreck. So I mean, it just a lot of these cars come through auctions, through the auction through like donated cars and different things. Anyway, so I went and picked up the car. That was a process because the broker that I used said, that I could not pick the car up myself. I had to use a professional service to deliver the car to me, and that was going to be another $500 or something like that. I call Coparts, and there's like, I know people pick these up from Copart all the time, so I'm like, no, why do I gotta do that? And they said, well, you probably have an agreement with your broker that you have to do it that way, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. But my broker didn't know if I did it or not. I just went ahead and went and got the car. It was already paid for. I just needed my bid number and my lot number, and I picked the car up. The title goes to the broker first, then it comes to me. So that's where it's a little sketchy at. Like, hopefully they don't find out that I picked it up myself and try to keep the title from me or something. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But that's the problem with using a broker. You actually sign off, kind of like you give them the rights to the vehicle. So, it's not the greatest deal. It seems to work, but there's definitely places that could go bad. So, maybe it's just the broker I used, but I'm not really sure if all the other ones do it the same way. But they had me sign the power of attorney for this vehicle. So they have the power of attorney on it. And so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if that title shows up. Anyway, I got the car though. So I pulled the car off the trailer, parked it here in the yard. There's no plates on it or anything, so I don't feel comfortable driving around. Don't have any insurance on it right now. But it does have a check engine light, so I'm looking into that to see what that is and how to fix that. Hopefully it seems to drive all right, but I didn't drive it anyway. I just drove it off the trailer and put it in the yard. So, hopefully that won't be an issue. Something minor maybe, but we'll check into that and I'll let you know exactly what we got to do for that. Anyway, let me give you a little tour of the vehicle, and then probably take it on a test drive just to see what it's all about, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so here we go. We got the car here. It's got it turned on. It's going to be running nicely. It's a little dirty, you know, but that's what happens when you get a car from Coparts. It comes dirty. Not seeing any damage on the vehicle. Looks pretty good. We do have right here, have a little some scuffs. Probably be able to buff a lot of that out. Same with right here, just a scuff. There's no dent or anything there. Just with the scuffs. I think a good buffing will get that out. Same right here on the back, a little scuff. There's a nick there, but you know, it is an older car, so you're gonna get a little bit of that. Same right here, little nicks, little scratches. A lot of that stuff will buff out, but all in all, looks pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. Inside is clean, well, mostly clean, but no rips, no tears. Looks pretty good. Came with 2 key fobs. A little dirty. We'll need to clean it up. See the mileage right there. But has a little bit of funky smell, but I think we can get that out of it. Anyway, let's pop the hood, take a look under the hood. Like I say again, it's dirty. It sounds pretty good though. I don't really hear any rattles or knocks or anything. It's just standard engine noise there. And I'll pop the trunk for you all to look in. So, looks pretty good. I think besides the check engine light, I'm real happy with the purchase and the process about getting it. Could have been better, but I don't know. Pretty good. Alright, so here's the code for the check engine light that's on this Nissan. Step motor code. We will investigate that a little bit more, figure out what we need to do. Alright, so I checked into the check engine light, and it turns out it is a what's called a step motor. It's a little motor in the transmission that pushes a little actuator that engages the belt, changes the ratio in the belts to basically change gears. You know, and it's a CVT transmission, so it's something new. I've never had one of these before, so I never worked on one. So it'll be interesting to look into that. So I'm going to look into it a little bit more, see what the process is of switching that out. I looked on, you know, around internet pretty quick, and it seems pretty cheap, like 40 bucks. You know, so I'm going to go ahead and probably order one of those, maybe off eBay or something, and then get it here and then swap it out. Still haven't took it for a test drive. You know, since it's that code, probably just, you know, not even worry about test drive. Just go ahead and switch it out, because this is probably a problem, you know, something that you don't want to drive around too long with that, you know, messed up like that. So don't want to cause any further damage. So we'll go ahead and get that switched out, and then then we'll take it out for a test drive and see how it looks. All right, so we're here ready to work on the car. We got this here is your little step motor. I got this one off of eBay, and we'll see how this works and see if this solves our problems. It costs about 40 bucks, and hopefully it will be maybe just a quick repair, maybe an hour or so, and we'll get this out, test it out. So let me give you a look underneath what we got here. So you got your transmission pan. We're going to drain it out, take all the bolts off of here. Underneath there is your valve body. From research, it looks like you take a few of the bolts off on the valve body, drops down. There's a few other things there you got to take off, but I'll show you when I get that pan off. See where we're at there. So we'll let that drain out a bit. While it's draining, we'll go ahead and take some of those nuts, the bolts loose. You can take all but a couple bolts off. It'll hold it up there tight. Let's go ahead and pop that back in there. I just got one more here. So hold your pan up a little bit. And let's drop it down. There you have it. This is your valve body right here. You can see there's a lot of bolts, but not all of them hold it on there. Looks like somebody might have changed the fluid recently. It looks pretty nice. So maybe someone's already tried this though. Not sure. Anyway, next step here is you gotta take this nut off here. This little arm. And there's a little sleeve underneath it that centers that. And I'm going to unplug the wiring harness out of that module right here. And then we'll take off the bolts we need to. Drop this off. Put the little filter screen thing right there. Move off as well. Alright. Let me get the propane in. For that one, it's probably 15. Alright. Was wrong. That is not a 15, it's a 14. Okay. So we'll go ahead and take off the bolts in the back for the screen filter. These are 10 ounce. 10 millimeter bolts. It's the little bracket. And I think these two here. And these. I think 5 here. And maybe a couple there. Not exactly sure. We'll find out. So the only thing besides the bolts holding it on is the wiring harness. Like I said, you could pull the plug out, but I heard that's not easy getting back in. So I will probably just disconnect it here. wheel? Seems like. Oh, there it is. Let that bring that just a little bit. Pop this plug off over here. Pretty simple. Just a little push pin. Alright. So that's off. So let's see which one's holding it. This one's holding it. This one's not. Actually, tighten these ones back up. Okay, great. Well, that was the little spacer that just fell in the pan. Should just come on down. That should come. Wiring harness kind of loops around. Just pop these other screws off. But they're holding a little bracket with the wiring harness. Okay, some to the pan. A lot of oil in it still. Okay, here we are. We got our valve body out of the car. We're in the garage. We're going to go ahead and replace the ratio control or step motor off of here. So basically, you have this one little plug. Gonna pop that off. There you go. Two little bolts here. And you know, there you have it. Pretty simple. We'll pop the other one in. Just make sure you put it in the right way. Basically, your plug's got to plug in. Let's get that in there. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something there's a little bit of difficulty in getting this valve body reinstalled into the transmission. So plug that back in there. Okay, so we're installed. So you have this manual valve here that connects to the ratio control step motor there. So it connects in here. And so it also has to connect into a follower that's sticking in the bottom of the transmission. It has to go in this little slot right here. In order for you to do that, you need to hold it in this position because this is going to push it out constantly. So you can put a little screwdriver through this hole, or really anything, but something in there. And what that'll do is hold that in the position where you need it at to get it into the follower when you're installing this, and then when you get the bolts in, then you can just pop it out and it'll be great. And so that's it. Not too hard to get that part installed. We'll get that back in the car, and we'll get it for a test drive. All right, so we're back. There was some difficulty with our camera, and we weren't able to get to the video on the reinstall of the valve body and the transmission. So, but we got it back in, and we're just going ahead and take that on a test drive and see what we got. So stay tuned. Here we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and give this a little test drive after fixing that step motor. It's warmed up and ready to go. Let's see what she does. Hopefully we fixed everything. All right. So far so good. Seems like it's working, but I guess I didn't. Maybe should have took it for that test drive before I changed it, because I don't know exactly what it was doing before we seems to be shifting okay. I guess, I mean, like I said, I haven't had one of these CVT transmissions, so supposedly they shift smoother so you don't really feel a shift. Yeah. The check engine light's back on already. That could be bad. Oh yeah. Feel that? That wasn't good at all. Just wow. Definitely not working properly here. Well, shoot, that didn't fix it. I think we're going to have to take it back. Yeah, that's not good. Well, I don't think that worked. We'll pull that engine code again. Probably gonna be our same code. I wonder if we got it on there correctly, is what I wonder, you know. Okay, yeah, I went ahead and checked into what could be the problem with the transmission since we replaced the step motor. Sometimes the step motor is also called the ratio control motor. You know, it's depending on who you talk to, but it's commonly referred as step motor. So anyway, we replaced that. It didn't work. I went ahead and tried. I thought maybe I got a bad motor because I got it off eBay pretty cheap. So I thought maybe I got a bad one. So I ordered a different one, and I installed that one, and same problem. So I didn't bother showing you guys that. That is another failure. So anyway, so we've had that pan off a few times, and the valve control body off a few times, and we've figured out how, you know, it comes off easier a certain way. So I've gotten better at taking that off anyway. So looking into it, I found a reference video. It was produced by, it looks like a professional transmission guy, and you know, we'll go ahead and put the link below for that reference video. You can check it out yourself. But I'm gonna, you know, put a little clip in here, show you what exactly he says about it. Basically, he says that most of the time, those ratio control step motors aren't the problem, and most of the time, basically, the failure of this transmission is due to the flow control valve in the pump.
This big Allen plug is where you're going to find the flow control valve for this unit. This is the sole cause of failure in these units.
So that being said, looks like probably that's what we're going to go with. In the video, he mentions that they have a couple fixes for that, where you could drill out the pump and put in a replacement valve.
Now, the remedy for this is Sonex makes a oversized valve that you can bore this and oversize it.
Or there's a one called Transgo, and it's a drop-in one where you don't have to do that. You just basically drop it in and it's supposed to fix it.
Transgo also makes a replacement valve for this, which is a drop-in.
So we're going to go ahead and go with that. So I'm going to order that. I'm going to go ahead and order a rebuild kit. And we'll pull that transmission out and get it up on the workbench and take it apart and see what it looks like. I probably won't mess with the variators and the belt portion of it unless it looks bad in there. I'll just kind of inspect it. If it looks good, I'm going to leave that section alone because I think we've caught this early enough that it hasn't caused any further damage. So we might just clean it up and leave that section alone. That way, you have to have some special pullers and things to get those off, and I just don't feel like putting the money into that part of it. If they look good, I'm just going to leave those. But we'll check out the rest of it. I did find another video on the valve control body, and I will put that in the link below as well, so that you can check that one out. So those two videos right there, they're pretty helpful as far as, like, if you've never done one of these transmissions before, then they're definitely a great amount of help. The first video doesn't really take the control valve, the valve body apart. So you know, the other video is a pretty good in-depth one on the valve body. Some are a little bit different, but not much. I mean, they're mostly close to the same. So anyway, if you you know, like this video, click the link below, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel, and we will do some great things here. This is just the start. We're just going to get this car going, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to some other things, some more higher end cars. Looking at picking up some more Copart cars that we can fix up here. And so anyway, thanks for tuning in. Have a nice day.